Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
Morning, everyone. Hope you all had a good weekend. Great to see some of you already here today. It looked like spring was in the air yesterday and it looks a bit cold today, but I hope you've got a nice cup of warm coffee or a cup of tea to warm you up this morning. Now, I'm here today and I wanted to share a client success story with you. This lovely couple I met, well, let's say they had a case of, you know what that word, that 4-letter word that starts with F? Now, I know it's too early in the morning to start swearing, but can anyone guess what 4-letter word starts with F? Pop it in the chat for me. It is related to investing though, yeah? And look, here at Positive Real Estate, we've got so many amazing success stories. But the reason I chose this particular story is because there are so many people who will be able to relate to this. So many people are busy paying down their home loan and they've never invested before. Funds, that's a good one, but that's not it. Try again. Pop it in the chat if you can think of a 4-letter word beginning with F. Yes, Courtney, fear, you got it. Now, anyone here today ever experienced fear? And more specifically, fear around debt and fear around investing? Because I talk to people almost every day that have that fear come up for them. So we have this hardworking husband who comes along to and watch one of my property investment webinars and attended a one-on-one meeting with me and his wife. Now, she had missed the webinar, but she went on to watch a replay to find out what we'd been talking about. And we spoke about where they were at, where they wanted to be in the future, what was getting in the way, and what could they do to actually get there. And we spoke about the importance of having a plan, right? So we ran some scenarios because, for example, a $750,000 mortgage can cost you over $1.3 million over the life of the loan. And most people don't ever stop and question it. I mean, let's be honest. Your mortgage might not be working in your favor, but it works perfectly for the banks. So you borrow $750,000, you repay that $1.3 million by the end of the term. I mean, that's over $555,000 in interest. And if you guys are cool with, giving away $550,000, then there's nothing to question, right? But you're basically the one that's carrying the debt. You're making the repayments and they collect the return. So the idea that this keeps going around and around, right? So you pay off your home first, then you'll be in control. So you spend decades saving, sacrificing, and waiting for someday only to hit your 50s or 60s, and you're still paying down that mortgage and wondering, where did all your money go? I mean, this is why so many smart, hardworking Australians follow the plan and still end up stuck. So my new clients that joined in November 24, just 10 months ago, really, when they joined, they had been successfully paying off their home mortgage, as so many of us have. And they thought it was the way to do it, right? I mean, surely this is the safe and comfortable way to do things, yeah? Like everyone else is doing it, right? But comfort is the killer of dreams. And if you're comfortable, then you're not growing. But don't get me started on that conversation. Morning, Caroline. Morning, Courtney. Now, this guy that I'm working with, he's got he and his wife, they've got a property worth 1 million, and they only owed 60,000 when they first met me. So they had a lot of lazy money. Hey, Patrick, nice to see you. Anyway, he does shift work and he wants to get out of it one day. He's been doing 14 years of this 12-hour shifts, and he doesn't want to still be doing it when he's 65. I mean, who would, right? So she wasn't working at the time. She'd been going through some breast cancer, but she's on the mend and she's actually doing really well today. And at the time, the eldest daughter was 19 and heading off to uni, and they also had a 12-year-old. So there was a few different moving parts and expenses to consider. But as I said, they both had fear around debt. They'd been working to avoid it for years and pay down their home. Yeah. Morning, Jeffrey. And as they said, debt is still a scary thought. And they said to me, I hate owing money. I've always paid the bills on time. Yeah. So in November, we met and we went through their goals and what was important to them. And we made a plan and a strategy. And it was important to consider things like her health, one income at the time, and the kids, of course. And one of their ideas at the time was to buy a property that their daughter could live in while she was at uni. So we discussed the upsides and trade-offs and if that was really a good investment strategy or more of an emotional decision. Because there is no right or wrong. It's just choices, right? And we also discussed their age, their priorities. You know, they wanted to do house repairs. They had planned holidays. And, you know, we also talked about the elephants in the room so that everything was clear and on the table. It's only when we get honest and super clear can we truly navigate the way. And one of the things we were considering was how long until she had a job so that that second income would be there to support them in paying off the debt. Yeah. So in December, they met with one of their brokers to see what their lending options look like. And the broker gave them some options for a split loan, and they started an equity release and had to have a valuation conducted on their property as they'd built it themselves. Yeah. And while that was all happening in the background, they met with Haley, who's one of our property consultants, for a property focus meeting. In that meeting, she spoke about how our acquisitions team conduct their due diligence, the different processes for different deal types, and what's happening in the markets and the economic drivers. And for those of you that have been clients with us for ages, you already know how this all works, but we do have some new clients here as well. So it's nice to share some of those stories. But this is what really helped them to understand what was possible with property and what the numbers actually look like. So before the end of the year, they knew exactly how much they could borrow, not for just their first property, but for their second property. So they'd be able to start looking at property options over the holiday period and go into the new year with clear direction and a head start, you know, ready to get into the market. They also decided to get a shared app so that they could track their spending and really streamline their budget, because it's amazing what you can do and adjust once you actually have a goal in sight and know where you're going. Otherwise, as the going says, you know, we spend, we wander around without actually going anywhere and then kind of feel jealous of the people who've made the effort to change their own trajectory. By the end of January, with the loans approved and the settlement date nearing, they were on track to start shopping for their first property investment. So it's super exciting. And this is where being ready is so important, because when you're ready and flexible, then opportunities that, you know, come your way, you're able to take action. And I say this, as many novice investors can at times get a little stuck with their mindset and say things like, I only want house and land, or I only want to buy in a certain area and I need something that I can rent out straight away, or it has to be positive cash flow. Like I can't do it if it's not. But when we're not open and we're not flexible, sometimes we really miss the goal that's right in front of us. And some of you here may remember in January, Positive Real Estate had a great opportunity for our clients. From what I understand, there were 3 shareholders and one wanted out. So we were offered some investment opportunities in Caulfield in Victoria. Because the developers wanted a quick sale, they offered them to Positive Real Estate off market for an incredible deal, which means the clients that purchased there were likely to see really good equity in the near future. One of the most overused phrases in real estate is once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah. But with this particular scenario, these guys were able to take action. Yeah. Now, I'm really happy because they were able to secure property, and there was a 36% price reduction, and some units were reduced in price by as much as $260,000. I mean, that actually translates to $7,500 per square meter. So by the end of February the 1st, they understood what the expression of interest process looked like. Hayley had taken the time to explain how, when a property opportunity like this launches, there's no time for delay, and you have to be at your desk ready to take action. Yeah. So they confirmed that the funds were clear with the broker, and when the deal was released, they were there on their computer ready to go. And they were lucky enough to secure one of the lots that they wanted, and had a few meetings with Hayley to discuss floor plans and what would be best for them. And by the end of Feb, it had all been conditionally approved, subject to valuation. And now we all know nothing is perfect, and some things are out of our control when it comes to property investing. And there were some delays. Yeah, there were a lot of support and liaising with the contracts team. The contracts team here are the best. However, all of that's been completed now, and our property managers have found some tenants, and the lease was signed just last week. So while this has been happening, we've also started, getting ready for acquiring property number 2. And his wife is now working, and the interest rates have dropped, so their borrowing capacity is looking better as well. But this is the thing with property investing. There are things you can control and others that you can't. But the reason I'm sharing this story is because if you're not ready, you can't take action, and you really are going to miss out. But if you're ready, you can make a choice. So if you're one of those people that has fear, work with your coach, get honest about it, get the support that you need, because fear can be debilitating and completely affect which path in life you choose. Okay. But it doesn't have to be that way. We have a wealth of education available for our clients, and through education and understanding, we feel a lot more confident with the decisions that we make into the future. So having a coach really does help, because it means you can ask questions anytime. Know that you're not here doing this on your own, and having a team of experts by your side really does help take that stress off your shoulders. And time doesn't wait for anyone. And for this couple, they knew they were starting later in life, and that it was time to get a move on. And we're only getting older each day. So let me ask you, what's one thing that you can do today for your future? Share it in the chat with me. It might inspire someone else to do something to do today to take action. Don't just talk about it. Go out and take action. You actually got to do it. Yeah. But thank you so much for joining me today. See you next time. And come back tomorrow. Join the Wealth Coffee Chats for all things tax. And have an awesome day, guys. And see you next time.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.